Hi, Lisa.
Hey, Janet. It's so fun to do these. Like we feel like we're in each other's homes again.
I know we haven't done one of these in a while.
I may want you to come back just so you can have another pair of eyes on the Cookie Monster.
So, Lisa, I've been busy putting videos over to YouTube so that
Yes.
the viewers can find things more easily. I mean,
Yes.
Facebook has playlists, but they keep shifting how they do things. And
Yeah.
each social media has its purpose, and YouTube is specific to people being able to find videos easily.
Exactly.
So I was putting a lot of your cakes up in the desserts playlist over on YouTube on Lisa Cooking, Cutting Up, and Keeping It Real. And I started to think about your different cakes and how when you bake them and you do the video, you talk about the one cake. But what I thought might be neat was for you and I to have a conversation about your sort of short list of cakes that you make regularly.
Yeah.
And get a feel for what you do, what the tips are, how you use different ones for certain ways of eating or celebrations or whatever.
Right.
So when I was playing with the videos, I had to keep it straight in my mind because you have 3 different kinds of cakes that you make that begin with the letter H.
Yeah.
So
I don't think about it like that, but that is a good way to think about it.
Well, this is what I deal with. I have so much content that I have on my laptop. And then when I'm trying to make sure I put the right videos together and the right pictures together, I'm like, was that one a Honeybun or a Hummingbird or, what was the third one? Happy Day. Like, yeah. So,
and that was so not intentional, but it's weird that it turned out that way because you're correct. Those are 3 of my favorite cakes, red velvet being the 4th, which
right.
I always want my mom to make the red velvet cake for my birthday because she makes a really good one. But
what makes you like that one for your birthday?
I was born in February, so I was a Valentine's kind of baby. Within a week of Valentine's, we always had that cake at my mom's house for Christmas. That was like this, you know how you have like the special thing that somebody does?
Okay.
And I've always loved red velvet cake. It has just enough cocoa in it that it tastes chocolate, and I love chocolate. And to be honest with you, if I have a choice between dark and milk chocolate, I'm a milk chocolate girl. I mean, I know that dark chocolate's healthier, but the red velvet to me, it's really pretty. It has cream cheese icing that is just like heavenly. And my mom would put like fresh pecans and chop them up on top of it.
Nice.
For my birthday. So I love making a red velvet cake for someone else, and I make one at Christmas now because it's just tradition. But I love to order Hummingbird cake when I'm out and about.
Now, which of those 3 H's is one of them you refer to as your coffee cake?
Yeah, I say coffee cake lightly because it's actually called Honeybun cake.
Okay, that's the Honeybun one.
Yeah, and the more I look at these old recipe books of my mother-in-law's, I'm realizing even more than I already knew that people use all kind of names for stuff. Like I should probably do one called the hound dog cake or something.
So the Honeybun, is there one of them that's denser?
A pound cake is denser.
Yes, but of these other ones, is there one that's like Hummingbird? What that has a lot of different ingredients in it, or
very dense and very moist. So when you cut a Hummingbird cake, you need to go ahead and cut a big slice of it so it doesn't. If you want it pretty on your plate, feel free to put it on your plate and then cut it in 2, put it on 2 different plates, or share it with the one that you love, kind of thing. But Hummingbird cake, if you notice, even in really fancy restaurants, they don't give you a little thin slice of Hummingbird cake.
Okay.
It's prettier if you cut it like big, and I can eat the whole piece. I love it.
So out of those 3 H's, the Honeybun, Happy Day, and the Hummingbird, which one has the most steps involved or the most ingredients?
Oh, Hummingbird.
Okay.
Hummingbird. I only make hummingbird on special occasions, to be honest with you, because a couple reasons. My family doesn't love hummingbird cake like the boys and Andy. Mm-hmm. And so if I'm going to make hummingbird, I'm usually going to take it to a family function.
Okay.
Or have friends over that are going to help eat it. Because I'll eat the whole thing, Janet. If it's here, it calls my name.
I think I caught a video the other day when I was researching, and it was for the Honeybun. And I think Spencer was actually making it.
Yeah, I love stories. And the Honeybun cake has a huge story. First off, it was given to me, made by my godmother, Vicki Brady. She's the little, short, about half my size, dark-haired pumpkin cake lady. Mm-hmm. Okay, my mom's best friend. Anyway, we loved it for years. She would make us one because you can make 2 at a time and you can freeze them if you wrap them good. If you have a deep freezer, you can wrap them up and freeze them. And they make just, 1 layer. So it's easy to buy pans for it. It's easy to do it and just do 2. Maybe your family wants to eat 1 of them and maybe you want to give it away.
Okay.
I've also done those honey bun cakes, and my friend Shanda calls it sock it to me cake.
Oh.
So it has a lot of different, same recipe, different titles. And I've even put those in mason jars and given them as gifts. It's just a great basic cake recipe that you can start with a box cake mix. Okay. Or you can go on Pinterest and learn how to make that box cake mix. But I start with a yellow box cake mix. And of course, I know the recipe from memory because I've made it so much.
Well, actually, Lisa, I have the cookbook right here.
Oh, there you go.
And in the cookbook, you have something that's called a basic cake.
Yeah, that was from a lady that went to our church for years. And my mom got that recipe. And the lady at church always put milk chocolate icing on it. And so we would go for that at homecoming or anytime we had an eating at the church. We knew what cake belonged to Miss Ritter. We knew it.
Yeah, a lot of these recipes are in the Granny's Farm table. I have to use this all the time with what I do for you. So now, what's the difference then? We haven't talked about Happy Day cake.
Happy Day cake is lighter than a pound cake as far as the consistency goes. And I always use it if I'm going to make layers.
Oh, and I think I remember that from the video. Now, you had a couple of different videos making that cake. And one of them was when you got out some cake pans that you had bought that you'd forgotten about. And they were tiny and really sweet looking. And when you finished cooking, you were able to turn the little mini bundt cakes almost upside down on a plate and then put some strawberries with it or decorate them with icing sugar or whatever.
Yeah, that makes the best, in my opinion, if you want my opinion, of the cakes that I make, that Happy Day cake makes the best strawberry shortcake.
Okay.
So if I'm going to put fruit in the middle, whether it be blueberry, strawberry, whatever fruit you like or what's in season, I'm going to make the Happy Day cake. As a matter of fact, I'm making it this week. And the other thing I love about the cakes that I make, besides Hummingbird, I have never frozen a Hummingbird cake, but you can freeze the Happy Day, my pound cake, the honey bun cake, and they freeze beautifully. And as a matter of fact, if you wrap them good and freeze them, they seem more moist once they thaw out.
Okay. I've noticed in one of your videos that I think you froze the pound cake before you iced it.
Mm-hmm. It's easier to ice when you bring it out of the freezer and it's sitting out, getting to room temperature. I go ahead and make my icing and go ahead and ice it. And honestly, Janet, there's something about it that makes it more moist, whether it's locking in that extra flavor or not flavor, but moisture from the freezer.
Okay.
But it does work. So I always try to tell the viewers what really works for me. Because when I watch social media, any social media for recipes, I want to know that from the person that's cooking it. I want to know where's the story from, where'd you get it, and how much luck you've had with it. Like, is it a surefire thing every single time? Or is it one of those things that the humidity has to be just right?
Mm-hmm. Now, Vicki made that pumpkin cake.
Oh my gosh, it was delicious.
And you have done the pumpkin roll.
Yes. Yes.
So what would be the similarities or differences between those two?
They both have a pumpkin and spice flavor, you know, cinnamony, nutmeg. I don't remember what was in Vicki's recipe, but we all loved it. And we did it in like a 19 by 13 inch pan. And those are nice if you have to travel, because usually you can get a 19 by 13 inch pan with a lid, or you can either put toothpicks in it and carefully wrap it with tinfoil, but it's easy to transport. You know what I'm saying? And actually, Vicki's pumpkin cake recipe in that 13 by 9 inch is beautiful if you cut it and just cake squares to lay out like on a platter.
Right.
This time of year, for sure, you know.
So then the pumpkin roll, it has several steps to it.
It's one of the more difficult ones, if I'm honest, because you have to beat the eggs for 3 minutes. It's very technical because you want the eggs to have lots of air in them. Because when you do the pumpkin roll, it's literally about a 1/2 inch thick. You do it in a jelly roll pan, and it is denser. It's this, you know, it's a jelly roll pan with about a 1/2 inch of cake. Then you roll it up, and then you put nuts on it. I wouldn't tell somebody not to try it. I would just say, you know, cut yourself out some time to do it.
So here's 2 more I want to bring up before we talk about pound cake. Okay. One is apple dump cake, and the other one's Oreo dirt cake. So apple dump cake, do you only do dump cake with apples, or have you added other fruits along the way?
You can do any fruit you want. That basic recipe, you can do any fruit you want. We like apple the best because we drizzle it with caramel sauce, sometimes salted caramel. But all 3 of those, Janet, were from my football days of doing football meals for the boys' high school. Apple dump, apple dump, Honeybun, and Oreo dirt cake.
The teens or youth really liked them.
The boys loved them, and the females too. They had female trainers and stuff like that. And anyway, they loved it. And when the boys were little, you could do a dump cake and put like gummy worms in it. A Oreo cookie cake, whatever we're calling that, the dirt cake. And you could put like those gummy worms in it. And the boys thought that was cool. Or you could put a tractor on top, a plastic one, maybe a front end loader, and it looks like dirt.
So are both of those cakes made from ready-made ingredients that you're just mixing together?
Which ones?
That would be the dump cakes and the Oreo dirt cake.
The Oreo dirt cake is more like a pudding. Like if you're talking to other people in other parts of the United States or other countries, it really doesn't have a cake. It's cream cheese and Cool Whip and crushed up Oreos.
Right. Light and fluffy, I think, eh? Yeah.
Very much light and fluffy. Excuse me. I got something in my throat.
And Spencer likes that Oreo dirt cake with the golden Oreos.
He does. He's a vanilla guy. He lives in a vanilla world, and he is a vanilla guy. I've always said that because he's one of those kids. Even when he was little, he was just in a bubble, and he was happy in his bubble, and he liked vanilla ice cream instead of strawberry or sprinkles. You know how kids like sprinkles. If you're going to get vanilla scoop ice cream, you got to get a sprinkle. No. He never wanted the sprinkles. So that's why I call him the vanilla. You know, he's vanilla all the way. He definitely is.
What would be his favorite cake? Is it the
apple dump?
Apple dump. And what would be Drew's favorite cake?
Drew has a wider palate.
Yeah.
Than Spencer, and he likes pound cake. They both like pound cake, but Spencer likes it with just vanilla and a little bit of almond. Drew likes both that one and the one that I put lemon in as well. So it depends on who I'm making it for, as to what flavorings I'll add to the basic pound cake recipe.
And what about Andy? What's his favorite cake?
Lemon pound cake.
Right.
And so his favorite is the pound cake that you use an 8-ounce cream cheese at room temperature instead of 8 ounces of milk.
I learned when I was visiting you just how much Crisco has to go on the inside of the pan. So that white when you're making the pound cake. So that outside will be more crispy. So is that true for the other cakes when you're greasing your pans? Do you grease as much? No,
it's not. And in the recipe book, when I'm putting that in there, I'm saying grease and flour your pan. I think I'd have to look at it myself to remember. But anyway, you can use some of those cakes call for you to use the spray.
Okay.
Instead of the Crisco. The Crisco gives that cake kind of a crunchy outer layer. It's not really crunchy. It's kind of gooey. Crunchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can sink your teeth into it kind of
thing. Yeah, I want to cut the whole top of it off and just eat that brown part.
Yeah.
Chewy bread kind of.
Yeah. So when I've been reviewing your pound cakes, sometimes I get questions from the viewers. Oh, there were this many eggs. This time she did it, and that many eggs. That time she did it, and this time she used all purpose, and this time she used cake flour. And you just roll knowing how to do those substitutions or what equals what.
And I also like to use what I have. I mean, I talk about Instacarting and going to the grocery store, and I do both of those things. But when I'm at home and want to bake all day, the last thing I want to do is run back out to the grocery store. Right. So if I'm going to use all-purpose flour in a pound cake, let's say, because that's the one I make all the time, I'll sift it through a sifter, the old-timey sifters, right? And I'll sift all my dry ingredients if I want it to be a great, masterpiece of a pound cake. I'm making some cakes toward the end of the week, and I'm making them for someone else to take to a class reunion. So I bought Swan's Down cake flour because it's finer and you don't have to sift.
And your eggs, it just depends on the size of your eggs or whether they're double or single yolk. And
I already have my eggs in a little container that I'm going to use for that, just so I would not overbuy eggs this week. Because, we talk about bang for your buck, and we talk about living on a budget. And so I try to put those things all together so that I don't go, oh my gosh, I'm out of eggs. But as far as eggs go, if they're jumbo or extra large, some people can get those, and some people that farm, their chickens are producing those. I'll use 5 of those. If it's the standard size regular egg, I'll use 6. But so honestly, you can't go wrong either way.
Right. So there's quite a few pound cakes, and basically, you've got almond, vanilla, lemon. One time you did lemon lime combo.
One time I had orange. I did a 5 flavor, and I had an orange extract.
Right. So I did
orange, lemon, almond, vanilla.
You've done chocolate.
Oh, I love a chocolate pound cake. And my father-in-law, God rest his soul, he loved a chocolate pound cake. Chocolate pound cakes, though, you want to drop back about 5 minutes on your cooking time because you've added a little bit of cocoa to your flour, and you don't want it to be dry.
And I noticed you were putting warm milk in when you were making that, almost to start to melt the cocoa or something, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I got that particular recipe off of Pinterest or something.
You did. So therefore I didn't post it. I just referred people to go to Pinterest and find one.
It was delicious, but it was real chocolatey. Like people that love chocolate would love that recipe.
And blueberry was also in your list.
My Aunt Pam, probably out of our family, it's not probably. In my opinion, it's not probably. She makes the best pound cake in the whole family. And it's lemon pound cake with cream cheese icing. So one of our get-togethers, blueberries were in season. And so she put blueberries in that lemon pound cake. Oh, my Lord. It was to die for.
And then I also noticed brown sugar pecan.
That's one of my mom's favorites. She introduced me to that as an older teenager, 18, 19, 20. Heck, I got married when I was 20, okay? But she started making those, and I don't know where that variation came from. I've never heard her say, but I grew up with my mom making pound cakes. She made them a lot. And there were, 5 kids in our family. So it didn't sit around very long, if you know what I mean.
Right. Well, I think cheesecake is a whole nother topic for another day, but that's a lot of
hey, we would probably need to call the master of cheesecakes on that, and that is my mother.
Oh my heavens, we should have her on it. Have
you so should do that
on Zoom or
oh my gosh, because she's tried all the tricks of the cheesecake, and that 5-star cheesecake is her recipe.
Yeah.
It's flawless when she makes it.
Wow.
Flawless. So well, she won't tell you that, but
yeah, it's really nice, as I said, to be able to have a conversation about that whole collection.
Yes.
And straighten some things out in our minds about what you prefer and when and why and what the tips are.
Well, and I'll tell you a little secret. Well, it's not a secret. I'll share it with the viewers as well. Today, I had to run to Walmart and not run. I had to go into Walmart. And they have a spice cake and a pumpkin cake in a box that's already, and you add like eggs and oil and water. So I got that especially for the viewers because everybody doesn't want to cook from scratch. Some people do, but some people don't, and they want something quick. So I thought I'll save that for like a tailgate during football season, which it's football season now, and add that in as a, fall.
Right.
Maybe muffins. I don't know. I don't know what I'll do with it. I did think while I was in the aisle, though, I thought I could do applesauce instead of the oil to cut some of the fat.
Oh, yeah. There's all kinds of ways that you can make that work.
Yeah. Or you could buy a regular cake mix and put in puree pumpkin.
Right on.
There's lots of different ways to be creative with those kind of recipes. And honestly, Janet, with so much technology now, you can look at 10 recipes in a matter of 15 minutes of a pumpkin cake.
Right.
That's great.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to some of your fall creations, and thank you for having this conversation. I'm sure everyone will benefit from watching it.
I hope so. That's always our goal, and I always appreciate all that you do, Janet.
Thank you. It's so much fun.
All right. We'll see you soon.
Okay. Bye.